Spencer Lazara, MMA interview, is alongside Matt Mitrione, UFC 175 fight week. We're hanging out here at Tough Enough, but he's got a fight in just 2 days against Stefan Struve. Stefan Struve's comeback, of course, a guy who you wanted to fight, it seemed like, and he kind of didn't take too kindly to that considering his comeback. Talk about that and why you wanted to fight him.
You know, honestly, I didn't ask for him. I mean, wherever he got that, you know, wherever he was fed it, whatever. But there was a list. I had a list of 6 guys that I wanted to fight. I know it was just the top 6 guys. The top 6 guys ranked ahead of me that didn't have fights. I mean, that's who it was. And like they were like, no, 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 yes, no. I guess I'm fighting yes, and that yes was Stefan. So, however he wants to get his feelings hurt about it, that's fine. It doesn't change a thing. But
you hit hard. Obviously, we saw that in the last fight. Talk about wanting to go in there and I guess getting a knockout against a guy who's significantly taller.
Yeah, I mean his height really isn't. We don't think it would be that relevant. But you know, I mean it's nice. I throw hands, I throw leather. So yeah, if I can touch his chin, I think I got a pretty good chance to put him to sleep. But you know, we're in the heavyweight division, so anything can happen at any time, and he could probably catch me just as well as I can catch him. So that's kind of the excitement of heavyweights. You never know what's going to happen.
The thought process of him coming off the injury, does that at all enter your mind? I mean, going in there and knowing that you are a big human being looking to throw this heavy letter, I mean, does it ever sink in? You know, not wanting to hurt him maybe bad considering what he's been through?
No. No, not at all.
Talk about your preparation for this fight and you know, who your sparring partners are and whatnot.
Sparring partners were Guto Innocent was fighting on Sunday for the tough finale. Anthony Johnson, Thiago Silva. I had a pretty tall grappling partner, about 6'6", 6'7". His name's Devin, down in Florida. And he's a Pablo Popovich purple belt. So he's real crafty with triangles and arm bars, arm and chokes, guillotines. You know, it was a damn good camp, really good. Coach Henry Hooft has got me prepared. Joy Santiago has me prepared. And Coach Neil Melanson, my former grappling coach, he's going to be cornering me this weekend, so we've been doing quite a bit of work this week also. I mean, everything's good, man. I feel great. Coach Greg Jones was the new wrestling coach for the Black Zillions. And we've been doing a great amount of work with, you know, a lot of Greco, a lot of lower body stuff, a lot of body locks, you know, switching in, switching out, back trips from it, defending him. So, I mean, I feel really prepared. I feel great. My body feels light. I'm lighter, probably about 14 pounds lighter. So I feel great, dude. And if he can survive it, then good for him. He deserves it.
Talk about how you ended up there. I'm curious. How did you end up at the Black Zillion camp?
I live in Indiana, and there's really not much MMA talent in Indiana, especially at heavyweight. And so it makes it difficult to be a professional out there and become the best you can possibly be. And as a result, like I had to leave and go look for a couple different camps. I came out here to Vegas and went to Randy's gym for a while, which was great. And you know, I went to Duke Rufus's camp up in Milwaukee, and then once Pat Barry left, there were no more heavyweight, so I kind of had to leave there. And I met Coach Henry at some UFC somewhere. I can't remember where it was. And then I met Tyrone a little bit later, Tyrone Spong. I met Tyrone a little bit later, and I was like, okay, well, now I got somebody I can at least learn from and get down there, because I never had a striking coach before. And that's how I ended up down in Florida.
Seems to make a lot of sense considering you always said your hands and your shins. That was our last interview. You said my hands and my shins are what pay the bills for me. So, I mean, it's a good fit in that sense, that, you know, getting with the best strikers in the world.
Absolutely. And with this fight, it really pays dividends. My last fight with Sean Jordan, I stayed in Indianapolis because we figured that Sean was going to wrestle me a whole lot more than what he tried. So we figured I did a whole lot more wrestling, a lot more grappling. And, you know, in hindsight, maybe I was hyper preparing for the Brendan Schaub fight, which I should have prepared for better. So maybe I was kind of making amends for that. But, you know, once I found out I was fighting Struve, I made sure I went back down to Florida and got back to my roots of striking and made sure I cleaned up a lot of things that I was doing that I had gotten complacent on with my fight with Sean.
We see a lot of these great athletes coming in and being able to get to the UFC quick at heavyweight, especially because they have such great athleticism. Are you one of the top athletes in the heavyweight division? Where do you feel like you fit in terms of just pure athleticism?
I think I'm the best athlete in the UFC, period. Like, athletically, I don't think anybody's better than me. I mean, as far as fight-wise, I got stuff to learn. But I'm becoming the whole package pretty quickly, and I think I'm starting to put it together. And this will be a great test against Struve this weekend, as to see how good I really am, and see if I'm as good as I think I am, or if I have already reached my prime. We'll see.
Prediction? How's it going to go down?
I'm gonna punch him in his face. That's gonna happen until he can't take it anymore. That's what's gonna happen. I might catch him with a high kick. I mean, that'd be kind of awesome. Knock a 7-footer out with a high kick. But I mean, whatever it is, I'm gonna punch him in his face.
There you have it, Matt Mitrione. Be sure to check him out live on pay-per-view, UFC 175.
Hey, this is Ariane Celeste.
This is Uriah Faber.
UFC lightweight champ Anthony Showtime Pettis.
This is Dan Henderson. You're watching MMA Interviews.
MMA Interviews.
You're watching MMAinterviews.tv.